A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. And please, if there's any question comes in your mind at any stage, you can pause and you can you can unmute and you can ask me your question, inshallah. So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Kul a'udhu bi rabbil falak. Once again, same thing. Kul is someone's mic is not mute. Please mute your mic. So, fail amr, and inside of kul, same you have anta as the file. And then a'udhu bi rabbi, this a'udhu, same concept we have discussed already. This a'udhu is mudare, and inside of a'udhu there is a file ana, which means I. And then bi rabbin nas, same thing. Ba is jar and rabbin nas together is majroor. Why? Because rabbi and nas are joined, being mudaf md, mudaf and mudaf ilay mdi, just to save the time. So mudaf ilay. So a'udhu fail, bi rabbin nas, which is a jar majroor fragment, and this jar majroor fragment is, as we know that the label for jar majroor fragment is, so the label for this jar majroor fragment is that it is muta'alliq. If you simply say muta'alliq, it is enough, because in jumlatul failiya muta'alliq means muta'alliq bil fail. Okay, but you can write the whole thing as well, muta'alliq bil fail. Which fail? Whichever fail came immediately before it, which means that this fail, a'udhu. Now, same concept, when you say kul, kul means fail amr, say what I need to say. So you see, a'udhu bi rabbin nas, I come in the protection of rabbin nas, master of mankind. Say what I need to say. I come in the protection of master of mankind. So this complete jumla will play the role of maf'ul. Why? Because it is answering the what question. One more time. A'udhu bi rabbin nas is a complete jumla of fail mudare, jumlatul failiya, and this complete jumla is giving you the answer of what. So this complete jumla is playing the role of maf'ul for who? For kul. So once again, you got this fail, number one, you got this inside file, number two, and you got this maf'ul, the whole jumla is maf'ul, number three. Clear? So you got one jumlatul failiya. And we know that you can give this fancy name to the maf'ul of qala family, and that word is maqul al-qawl. Let me write one more time. Maqul al-qawl. One word, two words joined together. Maqulul qawl. Maqulul qawl. Okay. So, if there's no question, inshallah, I'm gonna move on to the next ayah, because this was pretty much the same concept. Malikin nas. Now, you can see that Maliki is in jar status. And simple sign is, we have learned in our module 1 that only ism can have kasra at its end. Fail cannot have kasra. So it is ism. If you don't know the meaning, you still have the sign, and this sign can tell you that this word is actually ism. And in what status? Jar status. And we know that ism can be in jar status for two reasons. Either there is a jar before it, or there is a mudaf before it. Now, please be with me and pay attention. Today I am telling you a third point, that when ism can be in jar. The reason I am not saying it a third point, because it is not a point on its own. It actually drives something from the from those 1 and 2. Reason number 1 is that there is a jar before it. Reason number 2 is there's a mudaf before it. These are the real reasons. And if you, for example, now in this case, before Maliki, you got this thing, Rabbin Nas. Because the reason I circle both of them, because Rabbi and Nas are bunched together, being a mudaf mudaf ilayh. So obviously Rabbi Nas is not a it is not a what you call a jar. It is not a jar. So in reality, what's happening here is now, inshallah, you will see, and this time I am telling you, next time you will be able to spot this point, inshallah. So please pay attention. You see this Rabbi, Rabbi is in jar status. Clear? And if you notice the next ayah now, that Maliki is in jar status, Ilahi is in jar status. In reality, please listen this point carefully. Maliki and Ilahi are coming two sifat of who? For this previous one, Rabbi. And we know that Mawsuf and Sifa, they match in all the four properties. And now if you pay attention to the text now, that Rabbi and Maliki are matching in all the four sifat. Same Rabbi and Ilahi are also matching in all the four sifat. So actually what I'm saying is that this Rabbi is being described. That who is this Rabbi? This Rabbi is Malikin Nas. And who is this Rabbi? This Rabbi is Ilahin Nas. In reality, only Maliki is Sifa. But because Maliki is connected to Nasi, Malikin Nas, king of mankind. Clear? Ilahin Nas. Ilah means God, or you can say object of worship, or you can say this English word which we use, deity. D-I-E-T-Y, deity. So deity of mankind, or God of mankind, or object of worship of mankind. So what I'm trying to say is, sisters and brothers, that this Rabbi is becoming Mawsuf, and it has got two sifat, Malikin Nas and Ilahin Nas. And itself, Maliki is Mudaf and Ilahi and Nasi is Mudaf ilay. And this whole thing is becoming the Sifa. Likewise, same is here. Ilahi is Mudaf and An-Nasi is Mudaf ilay, and the whole thing is becoming the Sifa. So let's translate. Say, I come in protection of the master of mankind. And who is this master? This master is Malikin Nas. He is the king of mankind. Ilahin Nas. He is the deity of mankind. Any questions so far? Okay. Last point regarding this concept of ayah number 2 and 3. Please listen this last point very carefully. If you really reflect on, because I said that Rabbi, this word Rabbi, we said that this Rabbi is being described by two things, Maliki and Ilahi. But you know that actually in reality, Rabbi itself is a sifa, because we know that the actual Mawsuf is Allah. Then Allah has many sifat. Rabbi is itself a sifa. Maliki is another sifa. Ilah is another sifa. So when you see this problem, please listen this point carefully. Because Rabbi is not really being described. Because Rabbi is itself a description. And Malik is a description. Ilah is a description. In those cases, please listen carefully. Concept is same, Mawsuf and Sifa. Two things matching in all the four properties. But if description is not really description, then instead of calling them Mawsuf Sifa, you give them another name. Concept is same, that two ism matching in all the four properties. But if the Sifa is not really Sifa, it's just a replacement. Just a replacement of Rabbi. Okay. So in those cases, instead of calling it Sifa, you call it another word. Let me write that word now. And that word is called Badal. that word is called badal. Ba, dal, lam, badal. 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 Okay. So this is another badal. And badal literally mean replacement. Replacement. Who did they replace? They actually replaced Rabbi. They have replaced this word Rabbi in the previous ayah. The word which is replaced is called mubdal minhu. You don't need to remember this term. In case if you want to, you can do that. Mubdal minhu, the one which has been replaced. One more time. Malik and Ilah are replacements. And what is being replaced? Rabbi. So Maliki and Ilahi are called Badal, and Rabbi will be called Mubdal minhu. That replacement from it, from this. If you have any question, you can ask, inshallah, and I will explain that.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
So Rabbi, I mean, initially was considered as Mawsuf,
Yeah.
and the other two are Sifa for that. That's
Yeah.
what we considered.
Yeah.
So then we are replacing it.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes,
Is
sister. Basically, sister, understand this point. It's not a new concept. I'm just saying that if you see that Sifa is not really describing the Mawsuf, but they are still matching in their properties, like in this case, then instead of calling them Mawsuf Sifa, you call them Badal, and this Mawsuf will be called Mubdal Minhu. Like I said this word before, Mubdal Minhu. Sister, clear?
Yeah. So that is because this Bi Rabbi is not really a Mawsuf. Like if it had been Allah, it would have been a Mawsuf.
Excellent
But
point.
so instead of, when we're not sure, like when you don't have a proper Mawsuf, then we do this. Is it?
Excellent. And if you want to be more accurate, you can say that if, like I said before, if description or sifa is not really the sifa of the mawsuf, just a replacement of the mawsuf, then we go this term.
Okay, got it, brother. Thanks. Jazakallah khair.
Oh, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm just wondering about another possibility, why that is not considered. So Bi Rabbi, like B is jar and Rabbi is majroor.
Yeah.
So can we consider that B, which is jar for Maliki? So that the Maliki becomes jar. Like for example, Kul a'udhu bi Malikin Nas. So it becomes a jar majroor. So I know it's not considered, but I'm just
No,
thinking.
sister, you are right. You are right, because this point is also a valid point, because in reality, Maliki and Ilahi, these two words, Maliki and Ilahi, they have also gone into their jar status because of this ba. This ba has impacted three words. It has impacted this Rabbi, it impacted this Maliki, it impacted this Ilahi. And you are right, you can say, you are actually saying, Kul auzu bi Rabbin Nas, bi Malikin Nas, bi Ilahin Nas. Excellent point.
Okay, thank you. So.
Okay, inshallah, let's move on. So let's go to the next ayah. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Once again, min is jar, sharri is majroor. But sharri and al waswasi are connected. You can see this connection. Even though if you don't know the meaning, you can clearly see that al waswasi has to be ism. Why? Because of this alif lam. And it has to be in jar. Why? Because of this kasra. And ism can be in jar only for two possibilities. Either there is a jar before it, or there's a mudaf before it. So in this case, sharri is mudaf and al-waswasi is mudaf ilay. Clear? Now, which means that min is jar and sharri al-waswas in one bucket of majroor. Now let's deal with the last al-khannas. Inshallah, we translate in a minute. Al-khannas. Al-khannas. Please remember this. It's a very practical tip. When you see that two words are clearly rhyming to each other, there's a high possibility of them being mawsuf sifa. Al-waswasi al-khannasi. You can see al-waswasi al-khannasi. They are matching in all the four properties and they are rhyming, which means that this waswasi is actually becoming mawsuf, and this time it is a mawsuf. Inshallah, we'll see in a minute. Mawsuf and al-khannasi is becoming the sifa, and that's why al-waswasi al-khannasi are matching. Now let's translate them first. Min mean from, sharri mean evil, al-waswas. Okay, al-waswas. Whisperer, whisperer, not whispering, whisperer. And this whisper is al-khannas. Al-khannas means if something appears and disappears, appears and disappears. This thing in Arabic is called khunnas, khunnas, and its more exaggerated form is khannas, khunnas and khannas. So khannas means the one which continuously appear and disappear. And now you can appreciate the beauty of this word, because shaitan, it comes to you, it whispers, and then it goes. Again, it comes back, whispers and goes, whispers and goes. That's why al-waswas, whisperer, this big whisperer, is being described by saying al-khannas. This whisperer, its description is, it comes and goes, it appears and disappears. And if you translate the whole thing, min sharril waswasil khannas, from the evil of the whisperer who appears and disappears. And in terms of what is the label of the whole ayah, because whole ayah is simply a jar majroor. Min is jar, sharril waswas majroor, but because waswas and khannas are linked together. Why? Because they are mawsuf sifa. So basically whole thing is in the bucket of majroor. So jar majroor is becoming mutallik. Mutallik bil who? Mutallik bil auzu. You got this one mutallik, and now you have got this second mutallik. Clear? Any question about this ayah? Okay, so let's deal with the next ayah. Allazi. We know that Allazi is ism mawsool. Yuwaswisu. Yuwaswisu. Please pay attention. Waswasa. Yuwaswisu. Waswis. These are the three forms of this verb. One more time. Waswasa, madi. Yuwaswisu, mudare. Waswis, command, fail amr. So yuwaswisu is mudare, and it is number one in the mudare chart. It has a huwa as the file. And secondly, fi suduri. You see, fi suduri. Fi is jar, and suduri is majroor. This kasra is a clear sign. But suduri and nasi are joined together. How? Suduri is mudaf and an-nasi mudaf ilay. So suduri nas, mudaf ilay together is playing the role of majroor. So allazi was ism mawsool, yuwaswisu was the file and fail, and fi suduri nas is the mutaalliq, because fi suduri nas is a jar majroor fragment, and jar majroor fragment is mutaalliq. Mutaalliq bil who? Mutaalliq bil this was yuwaswisu. And the whole sentence, this whole sentence, allazi was ism mawsool, yuwaswisu fi suduri nas, complete sentence is the sila. Mawsool and sila together, jumlatul mawsoola. Clear? Last point. And remember this point forever. When this ism mawsool comes, like allazi family ism mawsool comes, like allazi or allazina, they are actually, we have discussed this point, that this complete jumlatul mawsoola actually describes what have came before it. And what was it? Al-Khannasi. So Al-Khannasi got this sifa. So Al-Waswasi, Al-Khannasi. You remember? So Al-Waswasi got one sifa, that was Al-Khannas, and it got another sifa, and this is the complete Jumlatul Mawsula. So Al-Waswas got two sifas. Sifa number 1, al-khannas. And sifa number 2, allazi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas. Why? Because I have just mentioned that this jumlatul mawsula describes what have come before it. And what came before it? Waswas. Because khannas itself was a description. Now let's translate this one. Allazi, the one who, yuwaswisu, whispers, fi, in, suduri, chest, sadar. Sadar is singular, sudur is plural. And we know when plural is not rhyming on the Muslim chart, we call it broken plural. Remember this point one more time. If you got a plural and it is not rhyming with the Muslim chart, it will be called broken plural. So fi sudurin nas, in the chest of mankind. Let's look at the whole surah. Sorry, one more. Min al jinnati wan nas. Same thing. Min is jar. Al jinnati majroor. And this waw is connecting this one. That an nasi is connected to al jinnati, which means an nasi is also majroor. So you got two majroor. And we have just seen. So we are learning today again, maybe for the first time, that one jar can impact many majroor. And this waw is playing this role. Waw is carrying the impact of this min on this one. So minal jinnati wan nasi, from the jinn and from the mankind. So you got another mutallik. Let's count the mutallik. Rabbin nas, one mutallik. Min sharril waswasil khannas, second mutallik. And this time you got this third mutallik. Now look at the whole surah in one glance. Let me open the Musaf so we can see the complete surah in one go. So yeah, if you look at the whole surah, this surah Al Nas, Kul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Kul was fail and file. A'udhu bi rabbin nas was maf'ul. And this a'udhu bi rabbin nas is going all the way till end. All the way till end. Why? Because Malikin Nas and Ilahin Nas, they played the role of two badal for Rabbi. And then Min Sharril Waswasil Khannas was first second mutallik. Allazi yuwaswisu fi, this ayah was the sifa for khannas, and min al jinnati wan nas was another mutallik. So you still have same thing that kul has fail and file, and then from auzu all the way till end you got one jumla with all of its mutallik, and this whole jumla is the playing the role of maf'ul. From auzu all the way till end, everything is about the jumla of auzu. If you have any question on this complete picture of the ayah, you can ask me, inshallah.
So, brother, you told that after kul is whatever the jumla is, we can say it as makulul qawl.
Yes.
So this whole will be now makulul qawl.
Yes, sister. And very simple reason, because I have just explained all of the analysis that from auzu a jumla started, and then it jumla continued all the way till end. Why? Because bi rabbin nas became mutallik bil auzu. Malikin nas and ilahin nas, they defined Rabbi, and then min sharri, it became second mutallik auzu, and allazi yuwaswisu, it became the sifa for khannas, and min al jinnati wan nas was also mutallik auzu. So for this reason, because all of them are connected to auzu, and auzu was maf'ul, so actually the whole thing is in the bucket of maf'ul.
Okay.
So this was our surah. Alhamdulillah, we have done with this surah. Alhamdulillah, we have done 3 surahs. And inshallah, let me say this thing. Bi-iznillahi ta'ala, After we will do these 14 surahs, last 14 surahs, and Suratul Fatiha will be the 15th surah, and then text of the prayer. Inshallah, if you keep following that and you keep doing your homework, that is the key thing. Do your homework regularly. For example, now your next homework is you do the same analysis and send it to me. Inshallah, when you do these 14, 15 surahs and text of the salah, bi-iznillahi ta'ala, you will be, inshallah, able to use all of those tools which you have learned so far. If there's any question regarding this analysis, you can ask me. And yes, last point. From now onward, I will send, I will attach in the description of the video. In the description of the video, I will attach one PDF document which will contain all of this text of the surah with all the space, so you can do the analysis. Because some of you, when you write down ayat, it takes a lot of time. You simply print out that page, it will have all the ayat already on it, and just do analysis on that page and then send it to me. But in case if you don't have a printer, then no problem. You can write with your hand. I have no problem with that. I just want to make it easy for you. So inshallah, today, in the description of today's video, I will attach this file. You can just click, file will open, you can take its printout and do analysis on that page. It will be easy for you. It will be very time saving as well, inshallah.
Brother, in last class you wanted you referred something. Did you by chance give that link in the group?
Very good. Very good reminder for me. Let me do it right now so I don't forget. Just give me 1 second, inshallah. It's coming in the group now. Just 1 second, because sometimes so many things happening and I forget some of the things. Inshallah, it's coming right now. Yes, I have already sent in your group, and this was, if you want to see the label of every single word of any surah, this link will be, inshallah, very helpful for you. And I have sent the link already, inshallah. After the class, you can see in the group. Any other question or thing you want to say, anyone?
Just one question, brother. Just ayah 6, Mina jinnati wan nasi. So if I just want, I know you said to, link it with Audu,
Yeah.
but if I just want to individually, I just want to understand.
Yeah.
So minal jinnati, so min is the harf, and al jinnati, so is muta'alliq.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then one nasi, how do I
Inshallah, I put it here so inshallah everybody can see. Just give me 1 second. I put it here. So sister, min is jar.
Yes.
Al jinnati majroor. Wow is just a connector. And an nasi and other majroor. So it is still one jar majroor. The only difference, this one jar got two majroor, no problem. One jar can have any majroor, no problem. It is still one jar majroor phrase, and this jar majroor phrase will be mutalik bil auz.
Yes, I just it's clear now. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Oh, yeah.
Brother. I have a question on the Masuf Sifa. Actually, I forgot the name. There's a badal, right? The repeated one that comes actually.
Yes.
So I understood when you explained the complete analysis, but grammatically, correct me if I'm wrong. So the Masuf Sifa, when we say it should come just next to each other, right? Next to it.
No,
not necessarily.
That is the condition for mudaf mudafile.
Okay. Okay. So Masuf Sifa can be anywhere.
Exactly.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe I forgot.
Even jar majroor can be anyway. This condition of next to each other is only for mudaf mudafile.
Okay, good. Jazakallah.
So inshallah, very quickly, I just want to mention one last thing before we conclude this session. And that is, as we know, about this vocabulary part. So anybody wants to ask me any question regarding, please, I am saying in every single class, because this vocabulary portion is about reading it regularly and trying, and there's an organic way of memorizing something. For example, if you want to memorize one page, instead of sitting one day and just trying to memorize it, simple way or the organic way is read that page multiple times every day. Inshallah, eventually you'll memorize it. Okay, so I have said multiple times that please at least up to page number, and you can read them. Most of these words we have already dealt in our level 1. Okay, so still I don't go beyond page number 3, but please up to page number 3 read these pages of vocabulary, because vocabulary is very important. And look at this word, look at this, 31,852, which means that these first 3 pages, just first 3 pages of vocabulary, they are coming in the Quran how many times? 31,852. And all together in Quran we have 80,000 words. So you can understand from just this one example that inshallah, if you keep focusing on vocabulary portion as well, bismillah ta'ala, by the end of inshallah this level 2, you will be very inshallah proficient in terms of translation as well. If you have any question, you can ask me, otherwise inshallah we are done.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
But just a question regarding the previous surah, Surah Falak, and in that you mentioned that you can maybe bring up the whole surah page.
Inshallah, you go on, please. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it has got like 5 mutalik will fail in that particular surah.
Okay.
But there is only one ayah, I think ayah number 3, which has got wow in it, but others don't have. So is that wow has to be there for the connection to be all mutalik, or that not necessarily needed? They can still be mutalik without even wow being a connector.
Yes. Wow just mean, for example, in this case, in these 2 mutalik, for example, this min sharri ma khalaq wa min sharri ghasik, in these 2 mutalik, this wow just simply mean that this mutalik and this mutalik together will be counted as one mutalik of this one. If this wow was not here, then min sharri was a separate mutalik and min sharri ghasin was a separate mutalik, but it does not make any difference. At the end of the day, both of them are mutalik bil auzu.
Yeah, jazakallah. So that connector doesn't have, it's not a condition that connector has to be there.
Yeah.
Jazakallah.
Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, see you on Thursday, inshallah.